Yeah, very good evening to one and all. So hope you're catching me since yesterday, and you might have noted all the important points, right? Okay. Now today we shall discuss about what is demand. Okay, it's a very common word we usually say, what a demand and all. It's in common terms, it's just a desire. But when we are talking about economics, it is nothing but effective desire or want for a commodity which is backed up by the ability, that is purchasing power and willingness to pay for it. Suppose, see, I have a desire of buying a car, okay, but I am not having any money to buy it. Then it is not called demand in business economics, okay. Now, if I have plenty of money and then I have a desire to buy a car, then it becomes a demand. So, okay, it's just a formula. You remember that demand is nothing but desire to get that commodity, and ability to pay. That means you should have some amount in your purse, okay. You should be loaded with you some bucks in your pocket, okay. And willingness to spend also, right? It's not that you have income in your pocket and but you're not willing to pay it, or you're not willing to spend it, then it's not demand. So remember, desire, ability to pay, and willingness to spend. See, if I have a desire to buy a car and I have enough money and I am willing to spend this month and get a new car, then it is a demand. Okay. So demand is a relative concept and not absolute. Okay. See, we relate it. It's not absolute as it is. Okay. Laptop is laptop, pen is pen. It's not like that. No, absolute. But not demand is not like that. It is relative. Relative to what? Relative to price, time, and place. See, as I told you in the example, that if I have a desire to buy a car, then I have a plenty of income with me, so I'm affordable. I'm ready to give that amount, affordable price, whatever it is, and time also. So this month I have planned. Okay, then at a place where I can go and get it, right? So that is what is demand. So it is related to price, it is related to time, and it is related to place. The demand for a commodity refers to the amount of it which will be bought per unit of time at a particular price. So the demand is nothing but it's a amount which you are spending to get your desire fulfilled, the want to be satisfied, and you are willing to spend on it. So these are the four essential elements you have to remember when you are talking about demand. One is the quantity of the commodity. So one car, 10 apples, yeah, a family pack of ice cream, right? That's a quantity. And then willingness to buy. So you should have no a desire to you buy it. Yeah, I'll buy it. That wish you should have. Okay. And the third one is price of the commodity. So it depends upon the price also, and the period of time. Maybe a day, an hour, or a week, or a month, or a year, but a time period suitable time would be there. Okay. Next, we'll move to just a minute. Okay, we'll see. Fine. Then when we have to know about demand, we have come to know about four essential elements. We'll just see some of the definitions which may come into your examination, okay, as a part of MCQ. One definition is by um, F. Beham. What he is saying is the demand for anything at a given price is the amount of which it will be bought per unit of time at that price. So he has considered three things, as I told you: price and time and willingness to buy it. Okay, so these three, when the price and time and willingness, if these three comes, and you have to remember that it's the definition given by F. Benham. When it comes to Hansen, what he is saying is by demand we mean the quantity of commodity that will be purchased at a particular price and not merely the desire of a or a thing. So not just merely a desire. If this word comes in a definition and price and time is also there in this, it is by Hansen. So remember that definition. And Hibton is another person. He's what he's saying is demand means the various quantities of goods that would be purchased per time period at different prices in a given market. So he has taken little broader one, not just individual firm. He has taken to a market, and he has again says different prices, different quantities of good in a market. Okay, so if you remember these definitions, then it is law of demand, right? Then the slides are not moving. I'm just trying to. Okay, so Ramesh sir has joined. Thank you very much, sir, because slides are not sliding down. Move to the next slide, sir. Ramesh sir.
Sir, Ramesh sir is
Okay, who is sharing this?
Ramesh sir is sharing, madam. Just a minute, I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
call you.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what. Slides are not, might be some problem with, because no, these pictorial would be there mostly in business economics. So that's why I want them to see this. Yeah, yeah, that one only, sir. 48th slide. Yes, sir. See, when we are talking about demand, we have to know about two one. One is individual demand, and the second one is market demand. So when I told Hipton is saying no, he's talking about market demand. Okay, so he is a person who has given definition on that market demand. Now, what is individual demand? See, you might be seeing a lady, buying something particular product from the mall or from the groceries, right? See, individual demand for a product is the quantity of it a consumer would buy at a given price during a given period of time. See, remember here again, he's a or she's buying no a product, some quantity, so one or two she is choosing, and some given price and at a given period of time. It may be, let's see, in the evening she might be buying those groceries or whatever it is. Okay, so that is what is individual demand. Only a person, according to the willingness and the desire of getting it, she is buying. What is market demand then? Market demand for product is the total demand of all the buyers in the market. See, you will see a crowded place over there. No, many consumers are there. So it is buying, no, by all the buyers in the market. They are taken together at a given price and during a period of time. Say it may be a, no, Diwali season, then market demand in the Diwali season, or market demand in a Christmas Eve, as such. Okay, so this is what is market demand. So when you talk about demand, you should know, because graphs of demand and market demand would be different. So you should know basically these two important things: individual demand and market demand. We'll move to the next slide, sir. Yeah. What are the determinants of individual demand? Number one is price of the commodity. Now, when you see this arrows, so pay attention to the arrows. See, when price is rising, demand is falling, right? See, it's an inverse relationship between price. See, it's a human tendency. If the prices rise, no, we'll buy less, isn't it? So the demand of that product goes down. And if the price goes down, it's a human tendency that we buy more and more. So therefore, the demand for that product increases. So remember that first determinant of demand is price. And remember that arrows, when price goes up, demand goes down. So it's an inverse relationship. One is up and the other one is down. Okay, next. Second determinant is price of the related goods. So you here again, see, price, we are telling that there would be an inverse relationship. Here you have to remember that price of the related goods also affects the demand. Okay, so when we are saying related goods, you should know about substitute goods and complementary goods. Yesterday in the flow I said comparative and all. It's a complementary goods. Okay, substitute goods, see, you can see the example Coca-Cola and Pepsi, right? If we don't have Coca-Cola, then we shift to Pepsi, isn't it? So likewise, if we don't have Britannia biscuits, then we go for Oreo biscuits or no any other which is prevailing in the market, right? So these are called substitute goods. So substitute goods are those goods which can be used in place of another. Okay, but for the satisfaction of the desire. Yeah, if I am feeling for some cool drink and all, I may prefer Coca-Cola. But if it is not available, I go for Pepsi. But it is satisfying, right? So it's a substitute good. Then comes complementary goods. So complementary goods, you see, for example, tea and sugar, right? These are the goods which are used together. So without sugar, we won't take tea, right? And even milk and sugar also, we can say these are complementary goods, without which we cannot consume the other one, right? So these are called complementary goods. An increase in the price of complementary goods leads to the decrease in the demand for a commodity and vice versa. Okay, if the price of the Coca-Cola is rising, then we'll shift to Pepsi, right? That is in the case of substitute goods. So substitute goods, an increase in the price of substitute, it leads to the increase of the demand for a given commodity and vice versa. See, in substitute goods, when the price is rising, the demand also rises for the substitute good. But here in case of complementary goods, an increased price of complementary good, which suppose if tea's price is increasing, then we'll see that there is a decrease in the demand for the other commodity also. Bread and butter, car and petrol, pen and ink. We cannot think about, no, we cannot separate those, right? So these things you have to remember. Next. Yeah, the third important determinant is income. Okay. Now, in case of normal goods and in case of inferior goods. Now, in case of normal goods, for example, milk, we just take it, no? Right? See, we all need no roti, kapra, and makan, right? House, food, and clothing. These are all normal goods. Everybody needs, but no, it depends. No, if it's a hut for a poor person, it may be a villa for a rich person. But we need a house to shelter on, right? So this, in case of normal goods, when income rises, the demand for that normal good also increases. All right. And when the income decreases, the demand for that particular goods, for example, here milk I have taken, so it decreases. So what we see is here direct impact of income on normal goods. So it's a direct relationship, right? Income rises, demand for normal goods rises. Now, in case of inferior goods, now inferior here goods are, see, if we, in case if they are not in a position to buy a normal good, they shift to some other product. For example, milk, I said, they may take toned milk that we can store and for several days we can use. So that's an inferior good. Here it is vice versa. When the income of this inferior good is rising, when income is rising of a person, then the demand for that inferior good decreases. So we have an inverse relationship. So in inverse impact of normal of income on non goods. Next. The other one is taste and preferences. See, consumer, no, my taste and your taste differs, right? And younger generation, next gen, Z generation, and all their taste, preferences, their way of looking over things, everything differs. So the changes in fashion, the changes in customs, then the changes in the habits, these are also affecting the demand. If a commodity is in fashion or is preferred by the consumers, then the demand for such commodity definitely it rises, right? On the other hand, if the demand for that commodity fails or falls, then the consumers they have no taste at all for that commodity or for that product. They may not buy it. Next is expectation of change in the price in the future. Now this is also, so if we see that no, the price of particular commodity is increasing, what we do, we try to buy and keep it as a hold, right? As a holding. See, price expected to increase in future, then the demand also increases. If the price expected may decrease in the future, the demand also decreases. So here we have a direct relationship. So whenever the question comes, you should be very careful whether they are asking about substitute, whether they are asking about complementary good, whether they are asking about normal good or inferior good, yeah, or no expected price or taste or preferences. You should be very careful about that. You have to read between the lines, and then you should answer that whether income is increasing or demand is increasing. Because usually we know that when price increases, demand falls, right? But in case of substitutes and all, it's a different thing. So you have to remember those things, right? Next. Next is you whenever you find questions, so you should be very careful whether you are talking about quantity demanded or change in demand. These are the two different words. You should be very careful because the graph, no, with all these two terms would be different. See, when you're talking about change in quantity demand, you're talking about change in price. Okay. See, whenever demand for the given commodity changes due to change in its own price, such a change in demand, we call it as change in quantity demanded. Okay. See, the price of a particular product is changing, either increasing or decreasing, then we are saying that there is a change in quantity demanded. Be very specific, okay, regarding these two words. Then what is change in demand then? Change in demand is whenever the demand for a given commodity changes to various factors other than price, not the price, okay, other than price. It may be taste or fashion or any other thing, no, income or yeah, or expenditure level, whatever it is. If the thing is changing because of these factors and not price, then we call it as change in demand. Okay. Yeah, next. Yeah, determinants of market demands. Till now we have seen the determinants of individual, right? Individual demand. Now we are talking about market demand. See, this market demand is influenced by all the factors which are affected by individual demand, no, like what we have said: price, income, expenditure, taste, preference, all these things. Now, same thing, yeah, affecting individual for a commodity. In addition, we have these two factors, right? One is size and composition of population. See, when the population of any country is increasing, there would be more mouths to feed, more hands to work, right? Yeah, more body to clean. Yeah, all these things would be there. So therefore, when the population is increasing, demand for the products definitely would increase. And if the size of the population is decreasing, the demand for that particular commodity also decreases. So we have a direct relationship between these two. See, market demand, all this price, income, and taste and preferences, all those would be there. But apart from that, when we are talking about market demand, size and composition of population also matters. See, composition, like no, children are more. If children are more, no, they definitely their aspirations would be there. No, they need chocolates and no, pen, pencil, paper, books, whatever, no, they need that. If the youngsters are there, parties, movies, as such their desires would be changing. Ladies, their preferences differs. Male, they differ. When they are above 18 years, their aspirations and fashion differs. When they are between the age 50 and 60, their aspirations differ. So composition of population also matters. So when the size and population and all these things are increasing, definitely the demand also increases. When we are talking about, when we are, sir, one, yeah, see, season and weather also. See, we don't buy umbrella usually in winter, isn't it? Summer nowadays we are buying to keep ourselves away from heat and all, but in winter we don't buy it, right? So demand for that would be more in rainy season. Likewise, demand for no sweaters and all would be more in winter. So likewise, so the market demand depends on size and composition of population and season and weather. Next. Yeah. See, kind of demand. One is price demand. Yeah, so different kinds of demands are there. So you should be now very particular about no schedule and the graph, because many questions will be coming from these things. See, price demand, the name itself is saying that it is a relationship between price and demand of a commodity, assuming that the other factors are constant. See, whenever we are talking about any law and all, some assumption, some supposition will be there. Here, ceteris paribus, as we told yesterday also when we talked about law of marginal utility and all, there would be these factors being assumed as constant, right? And see, I have given in a formula dx. That is, dx is nothing but demand for the given commodity is equal to f. F is nothing but functional relationship. What is that functional relationship? With the price. So p of x, that is price of the commodity. The same I have depicted on the graph. See, on the x-axis quantity is taken, and on the y-axis price is taken. See, when the price has grown up, it has increased to P1, then we are buying only less quantity, Q1. You just be careful about this. See, when the price P1, it has increased, we are buying only Q1 quantity. But when the price has reduced to P2, then we are buying the quantity Q2. That means increase in the quantity. So quantity is moving towards right side when the price is going low. So we have a downward slope. So you may get the question, what would be the graph when the price demand is there? Then it moves downwards. Okay, next, sir. Yeah, that next is cross demand. Cross demand refers to the relationship, yeah, between the demand of a given commodity and the prices of related goods or related commodities. So when I was talking about related goods, I told no substitutes and complementary goods, assuming that other things remains the same. See, when we are talking no about price of related commodities, see, when the price of a substitute is increasing, then the demand for the other product also increases. For example, tea. Okay, the price of tea is increasing, then the price of demand for the coffee increases, because we won't prefer tea, then we may go for a substitute one, that is coffee. Okay, so when the price of tea is increasing, demand for the coffee may increase. And when in case of complementary goods, when the price of petrol is increasing, demand for the car decreases, because they cannot move. No, see, if we bring a car and without petrol, will it run? It will not run. So it's a complementary one. So petrol, when the rate of petrol is growing, the demand for the car decreases. Okay, see this diagram also, see the graph also. See, on the x-axis quantity is taken and on the y-axis price is taken. Same thing, complementary goods. And when the price is increasing, quantity is decreasing. See, I have shown the red arrow mark, right? It is moving left. When the prices is increasing, the quantity is decreasing. Yeah, next. Yeah, another one is income demand. It is no relationship between the, it's a relationship between the income of the consumer and the quantity demanded of a commodity, assuming that other factors are constant. So always you should know the formula, that is demand for X is related to functional relationship in brackets y is nothing but income of the consumer. See, if you have more money, you have more desires, you have more desires, you go for more products. When you go for more products and particular high priced and all, definitely the demand for that product increases. Simple logic, isn't it? See, when you look into the graph, price on the y-axis and the x quantity demanded, see, price is kept same, price is kept same, maybe 10 rupees or 20 rupees. Here, see the demand, no, for that particular, when the income is increasing and all, the demand is for that particular product also is increasing, right? So this we can understand by a schedule given. Okay, we'll find in the next slide. So next one. Okay, right. We have furthermore that I'll take up. Here we have different, another one, that is joint demand. See, can you imagine a mobile phone without SIM card? Can you imagine a bat without a ball? No, isn't it? There's a joint demand for both the products. When there are mobile phones, definitely the demand for SIMs would increase, right? See, when two or more goods are demanded simultaneously to satisfy a particular want, then such demand we call it as joint demand. Okay. Now another one is composite demand. Composite demand is, see, unprocessed based milk has many uses. You just take simple example, milk itself. See, with milk we can get curd, yeah, the cream, paneer we can get, and other things. Those we can make sweet, and also different uses are there for a particular product. Then we call it as composite demand. That is when a commodity can be put into several uses. Yeah, butter, yogurt, milk chocolate, cheese, sweets, right, paneer, and all these things. The different uses are there. We call it as a composite demand. Okay, next. Another one is derived demand. Demand for a commodity which dependent on demand for other good is known as derived demand. See, when we want to construct a house, we need is steel, isn't it? So the demand for that, because it is dependent. Construction of house depends on cement, depends on steel bars, depends on other things. No, even labor, we have to hire them so that skilled person would work and all this, right? So that is depend. We are depending on a particular other product for the fulfilling the demand of construction of house. So that is called as derived demand. Then we have direct demand. When a commodity satisfies the wants directly, the term is termed as direct demand. So yeah, if I want a chocolate to eat and I'm taking a chocolate, that's a direct. Okay, so direct demand. Alternative demand, it's known as when it can be satisfied by different alternatives. If not chocolate, shake and all. Yeah. Next is competitive demand. When two goods are close substitutes of each other, an increase in demand for one of them will decrease the demand for the other. Then the demand of for any one of these is known as a competitive demand. For example, tea and coffee, as I told you, when the tea price of the tea is increasing, definitely we would shoot up to coffee, isn't it? We go for a coffee. So it's a competitive demand. So, now, next important topic is demand function. What it is. See, since beginning we have no df f of in the bracket we have read. Same thing, that is. Demand function shows the relationship between quantity demanded for a particular commodity and the factors influencing it. So quantity demanded for a product. I told you two words to remember: quantity demanded and change in demand. So we are talking here about quantity demanded. So see, individual demand function is different and market demand function is different. When we talk about individual demand, it's a functional relationship between all these things. See, price of the commodity, price of related goods, income, taste, and expected price changes in future. Okay, so these are when we talked about determinants of demand, also all these things we have referred. So same thing we have to put it in a function f of in the brackets, then it is demand function. Okay, when we talk about market function, other than these we have no size and composition of population and distribution of income. Okay, so these things when we add up to it and keep it in that bracket, then we call it as a market demand function. Okay, so you have to remember this d. Yeah. Okay, next, demand schedule, right? See, demand schedule is in the tabular statement. You have to see here. This is a tabular one. The price when it is 5 rupees. Household and individual, household A and household B, how they are buying one and one. Okay, and then market demand, you have to add these two. Okay, then you will get the market demand. That is, so we are showing that same thing in a tabular form. We call it as a demand schedule, right? See, demand schedule is a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity being demanded at various levels of prices. See, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 level of prices. Okay, during a given period of time. So this is in case of market. In case of individual, when we are buying, no, 5 rupees, you are buying one quantity. When it is decreased to 4, you are buying two commodities. When it is decreased to 3, you are buying it, no, three in quantity. So that is individual demand schedule. This is market. You have added up all the individuals. If there are some 10 households, then household A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like that, and you have to total it up. Then it becomes a market demand schedule. Okay, next, demand curves. Now this is what is many questions would come from these curves, right? Here, see, demand curve is nothing but demand schedule is tabular form, whereas curve is graphical form. Okay, so graphical representation of demand schedule, whatever schedule we have written, we are putting it in a graph. Same what we have taken in the previous slide, I have put it in x-axis and y-axis. X-axis quantity demanded, this is for left side is for the individual demand and the right side is for the market demand. Here we get the individual demand curve and here we get a market curve. So see, when the price is increased, the quantity has decreased, right? So the curve is moving downwards, so slopes down. Okay, you may get a question, what is how the curve moves in a individual demand? So you should be able to say that it moves, it slows down. Okay, In case of market demand, each individual household we have taken, and then total when we have added up, then one dm is there, it is seen, isn't it? That is the total of all household. Here in the example we have taken two households, A and B. Together we have plotted it on the graph and we got dm. So dm is flatter than da and db. So you may get a question in the market demand, how the demand curve would be. It would be a flatter than the individual demand curves, we can say. Okay, so this is what is demand curves. Now, law of demand, this is another important concept to understand. Yeah, law of demand states that inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, keeping others factor constant, ceteris paribus. That means all the other factors like income, yeah, fashion, taste, what we have taken, no, those all remains constant. Only we are talking about relationship between demand and quantity demanded and price. Okay, and what are the assumptions? Okay, and one more thing is, this is also known as first law of purchase. So what is called as first law of purchase? You should say it's a law of demand. Right. Now, when we want this law to fit, then some assumptions are there. What are those assumptions? Right? These are the assumptions. See, prices of substitutes goods do not change. Whatever, no, tea and coffee and all these things, no, their prices do not change. Prices of complementary goods also remains constant. Income of the consumer remains the same, and there is no expectation of change in price in the future. Taste and preferences of the consumer remains the same. Okay, when we say all these things, then only law of demand fits, when we assume all these things. Okay, see, I have given a schedule and a curve also for this law of demand. See, prices are decreasing, 5 4 3 2 1, and the demand, no, it is increasing, 1 2 3 4 5, say 5. Okay, and the same thing is plotted on a graph, and we can see the red mark. Yeah, law of demand always slopes down. Okay, prices increases, quantity demanded always decreases. So you should just put it in your brain, right? Okay, next, important facts about law of demand. Yeah, one is it has a inverse relationship. When the price is increasing, demand is falling. Inverse relationship, remember this first point. Second, qualitative and not quantitative. Because it's a relative concept, no, we are saying it's a qualitative. Yeah, quantity demanded for this much price, so it's not quantitative. People get confused. Say, ma'am, we are talking about 5 4 3 2 1 and 1 2 3 4 quantities we are buying, so there we are seeing numbers and all, and it's quantity maybe, madam. No, we are talking about qualitative because it's a relative concept. No proportional relationships. See, there's no proportional relationship in the law of command. Okay, what it is, um, no proportional uh, yeah, no proportional relationship means there would be an inverse relationship between price and demand. Okay, next, and it is one sided only price we are taking. We are not taking taste, we are not taking income, we are not taking other factors, because we kept it as a constant. Then only we can prove the law of demand, isn't it? So hence it's only one sided. Which is one-sided law in business economics, means it's a law of demand. Okay, the reasons for law of demand. Yeah, one is law of diminishing marginal utility, which we have seen yesterday, so we'll just go faster. Okay, law of diminishing marginal utility states that as we consume more and more units of commodity, apple I have taken yesterday, the utility derived from each successive units goes on decreasing. First apple we feel very satisfied, but when it comes to fifth apple of the same quantity at the same time, then it decreases. Okay, So demand of commodity depends on its utility. Right. Next. Yeah, we'll continue with the reasons for law of demand. One is law of diminishing marginal utility, and the second one is if consumer gets more satisfaction, he will pay more. As a result, consumer will not be prepared to pay the same price for additional units of the commodity. It's natural, isn't it? When we get more satisfaction, say if we like a movie for the first time, we definitely would like to go for the second time by paying it, isn't it? But as a result, consumer will not be prepared to pay the same price for additional units of the commodity, right? The consumer will buy more units of the commodity only when the price falls. He'll just look when the price falls. See, especially the ladies would be seeing now when the gold rate decreases so that they can buy the quantity, right? So that is a human tendency. Next is substitution effect. Substitution effect refers to the substituting one commodity in place of other commodity when the consumer relatively feels it is cheaper. Okay. When price of the given commodity falls, it becomes relatively cheaper as compared to its substitute. We have seen the diagrams. Yeah, price increases, substitute decreases, complementary. It's a direct relationship. Reasons. Another reason is income effect. When the income is real income of the commodity consumer is increasing due to change in the price of the given commodity, he or she would be buying more. Income increases, he'll buy more, right? When the price of the given commodity falls, the increase of purchasing power of the consumer, it falls, right? As a result, he can purchase more of the given commodity with the, yes, yeah. Next is additional customers. When a price of a commodity falls, many new consumers who were not in a position to buy earlier due to high price, they start purchasing. When the price goes down, those who are not buying before, they try to buy now. So additional consumers would be added. Then different uses. See, some commodities like milk, as I have told you, and electricity. See, we are not just using electricity to just light a bulb, right? We are using for charging our laptops, our mobiles, for using running our washing machines, for running our micro oven, right? Electricity has multiple uses. So has several uses of which we are important than the others. So different uses is one other factor for the law of demand. Yeah. Next is, yeah, these are the exceptions of law of demand. You should be able to understand this. One is given goods. We call it as Veblen also. See, these are special kind of inferior goods on which the consumer spends a larger part of his income, and their demand rises with an increase in price, and demand falls with decrease in price. Okay, for example, see high society people, though the price of diamonds increases, they want to buy it. Okay, you can see Anant Ambani's marriage also, right? So much lavishly they are spending it. It's a kind of prestige issue and all. So when the prices, though it is very high and they are buying it, which is against the law of demand, when prices rise, the demand should fall. But here in this case, due to prestige and all, though the price is high, we are buying. I mean, some rich people are buying the diamonds and all. So that we call it as a given good because it's given by gift. We call it as a given good. So back one, sir. Yeah. So it's like that. This phenomenon popularly known as Giffen's paradox. Okay, Giffen's paradox, and this is observed by Robert Giffen. Hence the name given on his name only, Giffen goods. Then status symbol goods or goods of ostentation. Okay, a feeling of proud and all. The exception related to certain prestige goods which are used as status symbols, as I've given you, very antique paintings, yeah, vintage cars, all these things. They are demanded, though the prices are very high. Next, fear of shortage. Yeah, this is one another thing, human tendency, we can say. Thinking that there would be a shortage, we start buying now only. So this is against the law of demand. Okay, see, if the consumer expect a shortage or scarcity of a particular commodity in the near future, then they would start buying more and more of that product or commodity in the current period, even if their prices are rising. So consumers demand more due to fear of further rise in the prices. Next is ignorance. Yeah. Consumers may buy more of a commodity at a higher price when they are ignorant of the prevailing prices of the commodity in the market. So they never study the market prices. They feel that it is high, but I am getting it a lower price and all, they will buy this. Ignorance. They are not aware of the prices in the market. Fashion related goods. See, goods related to fashion do not follow the law of demand, and their demand increases even when there is a rise in the prices. Okay, especially during wedding season, though the prices are high, they buy because they say the marriage is for once only one, and all, they buy all whatever related to their costumes and cosmetics and all, they buy though the prices are high. Necessities of life. Another exception is use of commodities which becomes necessities of life due to their constant use. For example, for the diabetic patients, insulin is important. Though the price increases and all, they need it because they have to save their life, isn't it? So they buy it. Next is change in weather. So with the change in the season and weather, demand for certain commodities also changes, like sweaters and all. Okay. So these are the things till here about the demand. Now we'll move to elasticity of demand. What it is? It is the degree of responsiveness of the demand to the changes in its determinants. Okay, determinants like price, income, taste, and all these things. First one is price elasticity of demand. The extent of response of demand for a commodity to the changes in its price. Other determinants of demand remaining constant is called price elasticity of demand. So again, it's a repetition, but we have to know that the relationship here is with the price. Change in what? Price, and other factors being constant. Okay. Yeah. Next. These are different types of price elasticity: perfectly elastic demand, perfectly inelastic, relatively inelastic, and unitary elastic demand. We'll see one after the other. Okay, yeah, this this I'll cover. Yeah, we'll move to right. We'll move to, because that again would be a relationship, no, between price and all. Again, the repetition of law of demand would be there because we are always dealing with prices. Yeah, that is price elasticity. Income elasticity, the degree of responsiveness of demand for a commodity to the changes in the consumer's income. Okay, changes in income is income elasticity. Here, types of income elasticity, again unitary, then where elasticity greater than 1, elasticity less than 1, zero income elasticity, and negative income elasticity. Okay, and cross elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness of demand for a commodity to a given change in the price of some other related commodity is known as cross elasticity. It may be related goods, substitutes, and complementary goods, normal goods and inferior goods. Okay, that is why it's called cross elasticity. Okay, so now advertising and promotional elasticity of demand also has come into, and this is degree with changes in advertising, changes in promotional activities or promotional expenses. Okay, and substitutional elasticity, it is between X and Y. Okay, that is given change in the price ratios. Okay, px by py, like that. When we of some substitutes, if we take, we get a substitution elasticity. Next, yeah. See, till here we have seen the quantity demanded and all. Now we'll see movement along the demand curve, how the things are moving. See, when this thing you remember, you may answer any question. All right. See, change in quantity demand occurs. Why? Because change in price. You just see the figure. Okay, the tables. that rectangles, if you just focus on is, say, change in quantity demanded occurs due to change in price, which is leading to movement along the demand curve. But changes in price, change in quantity demanded is showing some movement on the demand curve. Now, how it is showing? It either downward or either upward. See, when it is downward movement, it is known as expansion in demand. Why? Because prices are decreasing, hence it is expanding. Okay. Or upward movement, it is taking upward movement, that is a contraction of demand. Why it is happening? Due to increase in the prices. Okay, when you remember this, you can answer any question, MCQs. Now, how the expansion of demand is there? See, expansion in demand refers to a rise in the quantity demanded due to a fall of the price of the commodity, other factors remaining the same. See here, when you look at the schedule here, price 20 rupees, demand we have taken 100 units. And when the price is decreased to 15, we have the demand for that product is 150 years. The same is plotted on the graph. See, quantity is 100 and the price is 20. When you plot, see B, when you see the point B, when it is 50 rupees, 15 is paid to it, right? It is moving slowards, yeah, sloping down. And you can see the expansion, yeah. See, from 0 to 150, some expansion is there, right? So that is expansion in demand. Yeah, next. Contraction of demand. See, contraction in demand refers to fall in the quantity demanded due to rise in the fall. Yeah, rise in the price of the commodity. Others factors remaining constant. It leads to upward movement. See, the arrow A to B, it is moving. When it is 100 by 100 quantity, we are buying it for 20 rupees, and 70 we are taking at 25 rupees. So there's a contraction in demand. So A and B point, if you see, it is moving upwards. Okay. Same thing is plotted on the graph. Yeah. Next year. Yeah. Now, see, two things, movement on the curve and shift. Two different words you should be very careful about. So the question you should read between the lines, whether they're asking the shift or movement. Okay. Now we are talking about, see, when we talked about movement, it is either expansion or contraction, right? Here in the shift, it is either rightward shift or leftward shift. Okay. You have to remember this thing. Shift in demand curve is when the demand of a commodity changes due to changes in any factor other than its own price. Other than in the movement, it's price only. Here we are talking about other factors, but not the price. Yeah. It is expressed as a shift in the demand curve. So look at the flow chart here. See, change in demand occurs due to change in factors other than price. See, in shift, please remember this. In shift, we are talking about other than price. But in movement, no, other slides, previous slides, we were talking about change in price. Okay, change in movement, change in price, it is either contraction or expansion. But in shift, it is either rightward shift or leftward shift. See, leads to shift in a demand curve. So when it is rightward shift, we call it as increase in demand due to favorable changes in other factors at the same price. See, when it is 5 rupees same and all, but other changes and all, then it is a rightward shift. When it is leftward shift, there is a decrease in demand due to unfavorable change in the taste or preference or income or any other thing. But the price is same. Same thing we'll see in the schedule. Yeah, see here. Increase in demand refers to a rise in the demand of a commodity caused due to any factor other than the own price of the commodity. Price is 20 only. See, for 20, 20, 20, same price I have kept. That's why no, a parallel line to x-axis is seen. Red line at 20. That is parallel to x-axis. Price is same, but demand is increasing. See, 100 and 150. Yeah, sir, decrease చూపిస్తున్నాను. Increase. Yeah, increase. Yes. So yeah, see, uh, yeah, price is same 20, so parallel one, and the commodity we are buying is 100 and 150. So it is what? Moving towards right. See, right arrow I have drawn with red pen, right? So it's a, when it is increase in the demand, the curve is moving rightwards. When it is increase in demand. So next, decrease in demand, see, price is kept same 20 rupees, but the 170 quantity we have taken, then it is moving leftwards. The shift of the curve is at left. Okay, right, this you have to remember. So left side shift is shown. Yeah. Next, when we see substitute goods, substitute goods are those goods which can be used in price of one another for satisfaction of a particular want, like tea and coffee. Demand for a given commodity varies directly with the price of a substitute goods. See here, when you see no demand for tea and the price of coffee. On the x-axis, I have taken demand for tea, and on the y-axis, price of coffee. You can see that it is moving upwards. Yeah, when the price of coffee is P, the quantity is Q. And when the price of coffee is P1, then the quantity is increasing. So it is moving towards upwards. Okay, for substitute goods. Next. For complementary goods, are those goods which are used together to satisfy this particular want. So demand for a given commodity varies inversely with the price of a complementary good. See here on the x-axis, demand of tea is taken, and on the y-axis, price of sugar, because these are complementary goods. So without sugar, there is no tea. There is no tea without sugar. So complementary good. Here, so I have taken price of sugar on the y-axis and demand of tea on the y-axis. See, you see, when it is P1, we are taking Q1 quantity, and when it is P, we are taking Q quantity. So demand of T falls from OQ to OQ1 due to increase in price. So there's a leftward movement when we are talking about complementary goods. Okay, yeah, next. So these are all the kinds of demand. I think we have completed this. It's again repetition. Yes, yeah, it's just repetition, sir. We'll move further. Yeah. So this is till here it is demand, law of demand and everything. So demand analysis we have completed. Now when you're perfect with this demand analysis, you can easily follow supply analysis. So what it is, supply means, see, demand, it is related with consumer, whereas supply, it is related with producers. Okay, production. Remember this different, and you can easily follow supply analysis. Supply refers to the quantity of a commodity that a firm is willing and able to offer for sale at a given price during a given period of time. See, when we are talking about consumer, we were talking about desire to buy, willingness to pay, isn't it? Now here we are talking about a producer, a firm that is very willing to produce, willing to sell at a given period of time. Okay, that is what is supply. Now the four essential elements when we talk about supply is quantity of a commodity, willingness to sell. There consumer have willingness to buy. Here willingness to sell. Price of the commodity, same depends, and period of time. So he just, the difference is willingness to buy and willingness to sell. Willingness to buy is demand, willingness to sell is supply. Okay, so these again are two types, individual supply and market supply. When we are talking about only single firm, we are talking about individual supply. And all together, all the firms, then we are talking about market supply. So now here market versus stock. What's the difference between these two? See, supply refers to the quantity which a producer is willing to offer for sale, which changes with the changes in the price, whereas stock indicates a fixed quantity. See, supply, you are going on, no, as per the demand in the market, you are just selling it how much. And see, when the prices is more, you are selling you are sending more. Okay, But stock means it's a fixed quantity. This much I'm sending and this much only. So that's stock. Supply relates to a period of time, whereas stocks relates to a particular point of time. So supply, it goes on. Yeah, supply in the Diwali season, supply in the Christmas Eve season, supply in the Ramzan period, right? So it moves on. But stock at a particular point of time. Okay. Determinants of supply, when we are taking individual supply, price is one factor or determinant, we can say. It exists. So here we have a direct relationship when the price, whereas in case of demand, price increases, demand of that commodity falls. But here in case of supply, when the price rises, supply also increases. So we have a direct relationship between these two. Okay. When price decreases, see the arrows over there, and supply decreases. Yeah, next. The second determinant is prices of the factors of production or inputs. See, factors of production, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur or organization. Yes, their prices also would be affecting the supply. See, when the cost of production increases, definitely profitability decreases, then supply definitely decreases. See, if the value of the land is increasing, yeah, you are paying more for the laborers, wages, and all these things. That is comes under cost of production, isn't it? Then definitely profitability decreases, then slowly supply also decreases. So there's an inverse relationship between cost of production, price of cost of production, and the supply. Okay. Next is state of technology. See, cost of production. See, technology also, no, when see, if you're a producer of a washing machine and you have brought the German technology, they paying a lot of money, and you have brought that German technology, then the cost of production increases, isn't it? Naturally, the supply also decreases. So again, this is an inverse relationship between supply and the technology. Okay, cost of production. Next is government policies also. It depends because every government have their own manifesto, own way of dealing with industries, own way of dealing with the economy of the country, right? So that also matters, especially tax and subsidies. The government, whatever they levy the taxes and subsidies they give, that matters. See, cost of production when it is decreasing, if taxes decreases, yeah, if taxes they are charging very less tax to us, then it means that cost of production is lowering down, then the supply is increasing. So it's a vice versa relationship between these two. Okay, when it is increasing, uh, taxes increasing, supply decreases, and taxes decreases, then supply would increase. Inverse relationship. And next determinant is goals and objectives of firm itself. The main objective or mission, vision, you can say, objective of the firm also matters. Supply increases of higher prices as it fulfills the objective of profit maximization. See, if their main intention is profit maximization, definitely they'll be producing more, and they would be supplying more. So there's a direct relationship between these two. Okay, so next. Another one is that is all about individual supply. Now we are talking about determinants of market supply. These are two different terms, as we have seen in the law of demand: individual demand and market demand. Individual supply we have seen and their determinants. Now we are seeing market supply determinants. See, apart from that, the same thing, price and all those things, cost of production, number of firms in the market. This also matters because market, no, all the firms taking together. When there form more firms are there, supply also would be less because there would be competition. Firms increase, then supply also increases. They'll be producing more and they are supplying more. Same products, same thing supplying in the market. So more in number. So we have a direct relationship. Whereas future expectation regarding price. So if you are expecting that the price would increase in the future, supply will decrease. And if you are seeing that the price expected is decreasing in the future, then supply would be increased. So there's an inverse relationship between these two. Means of transportation and communication. See, proper means of transportation and infrastructure facilities will boost the supply, isn't it? You can know if there's a very good infrastructure, roads, railways, and all, good electricity, very banking institutions are more in number, then definitely you will produce more and you can supply more. So again, there's a direct relationship. Now, next important one is supply function. Supply function shows the functional relationship between quantity supplied for a particular commodity and the factors influencing it. See, S of I have given in the formula for this individual here. See, individual supply function. See the formula here. S, yeah, S of X, supply of X commodity. In the bracket, no PX, P O, and P1, PS1, and T and G is taken, isn't it? That is nothing but, see, S stands for supply of the given commodity. P1 is price of that given commodity. PO is price of other goods. Okay, other goods, and price of factors of production, and state of technology. S stands for state of technology. T the taxation, and G is goal of the firm or objectives of firm. Nothing but the determinants of supply. Okay, this is supply function. That market supply function, same thing, but other two things are added here. Future expectation regarding P, goals of the market, taxation policy, and number of firms. N is number of firms, and transportation and communication is also taken. So that is market supply function. So two, individual supply function and market supply function. Then what is supply schedule? Whatever we write in the tabular form, we call it as supply schedule. Okay, supply schedule is a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity being supplied at various levels of price during a given period of time. See, same thing. This is, see, when the price is 1 rupee, quantity supplied is 5 units. When the price has increased to 2, we have supplied 10. So going on increasing. 3, 15, 4, 25, 25. So this is nothing but this table is nothing but supply schedule. Okay. And the other one is market schedule. Here I have taken two products, A and B, supply of A and supply of B, and that I have been adding to make it market supply. So price is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. Product supply of product A is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Supply of B is 10, 20, 25, 35, 40. But we want market supply, so we have to add these two. What that is individual A and B products supply quantities. Okay, so I've got it 15, 20, 20 like that, 15, 30, 40, 55, 65 like that. The same thing I have plotted in the curves, in the graph, that we call it as supply curve. Okay, see, individual supply curve refers to a graphical representation of individual supply schedule. See, from that table I have plotted on x-axis quantity supplied and price on the y-axis. Same thing, A, B, C, D. As the price is increasing, supply is increasing. So it is moving upwards. Okay, supply curve always would be moving upwards. When the price increases, supply increases. Direct relationship. Okay. Now in market supply, same thing. It is increasing. We are plotted of product A and product B, SA and SB, and together the quantity, no, 15, 45 we have taken, no, 15, 30, 45, 65 and all that we have plotted. That is SM, that is supply of the whole market. So this again, it's a flatter one. You may get this question, how the supply curve is in the market supply curve. So it's a flatter than the individual supplies. Okay, supply curves. Next is law of supply. So as we have law of demand, law of supply is also there. What it is saying, it's saying that there is a direct relationship between price and quality supplied. And same here, ceteris paribus. That means all the other factors, cost of production, taxes, subsidies, and all these things are kept constant. Okay. So same thing, assumptions are also there for this law. What are their price of other goods? Other goods is kept constant. There is no change in the state of technology. The prices of factors of production also is constant, same. There is no change in the taxation policy, and goals of the producer or the entrepreneur is same. When we say this, that is nothing but ceteris paribus, that is all these factors, when they are constant only, law of supply suits or law of supply fits. Okay, that is direct relationship between price and supply. Okay, sir. Further back, so just, yeah, same thing we have plotted. Yeah, upward we have seen in that individual supply also. Yeah, next, sir. Important points you have to remember about law of supply is there is a positive relationship between price and quantity supplied, assuming that there are no changes in technology, no changes in tax policies, no changes in goals of a firm, all these things. It's a qualitative statement, same like law of demand. Okay, numbers are seen, but it is a relative concept because we are seeing it with the price and other factors. Okay, it doesn't not establish any proportional relationship between change in price and the resultant change in quantity supplied. So we don't have any proportional relationship between these two. And law is same one-sided because price is taken as the determinant. Okay. Reasons for law of supply, yeah, main thing is profit maximization. Every firm, every producer wants more and more profits, isn't it? So that's the reason that this supply law has come, law of supply has come. Change in number of firms, so firms are going on changing, so law of supply should be there. And change in stock, yeah. And what are the exceptions of this law of supply? See, future expectations, yeah, are kept, because we cannot say no whether price would increase and how much I would produce, how much would be the cost of production and all. So future expectations. Next is it doesn't suit for agriculture goods, yeah, normal goods and all, no. And perishable goods like milk and all, it is not suitable. For rare articles, no, vintage cars and all these things, or diamond, Kohinoor diamond and all these are rare articles. So it will not be, it doesn't suit. That means price increases, supply increases. This will not suit for these all things. These are the exceptions. Backward countries also, it doesn't suit, especially the African countries and all. You cannot say supply would be more and the price is more. There's no such thing. So these are all the exceptions. Now here same thing again, movement and shift. These are the two words you have to remember even in supply. As we have seen in demand, here also we should be very careful about movement along the supply curve and shift on the along the supply curve. Okay. See here we are talking about movement. See this rectangular boxes very carefully. You will be able to answer this. See, when there is a change in quantity supply, which will occur because of price only, see change in price, it will lead to movement along the supply curve, either upward direction or downward direction. Okay, see upward direction, we know expansion in the supply due to increase in prices. When the prices are going on increasing, then there would be an expansion. When the prices are decreasing, there would be a contraction in the supply. Same thing I have plotted in the graph. Next slide please. Yeah, see here, expansion in supply. Look at this. When the price is 20 rupees, 100 quantity is brought, and when it is 25 rupees, 150 150 quantity is brought. Same thing I have plotted on the graph. See, what you can see is here expansion in supply. See, arrow is moving towards upward. Price increases, supply, that is the same, upward. But how? In expansion way. See the dotted line, 20, 25, 100, 150 going on increase. So it is expanding. So movement of the curve, supply curve is expansion. Why? Because increase in the prices. Yeah, next. Contraction, decrease in the prices. See the red arrow map from A to B. when the price is 20 and 15, 100 quantity is brought and 70 quantity. So it is, yeah, what it is? It is contraction coming closer. Okay. So that is, you have to remember contraction in supply. Now here, that is movement. Now it is shift. It will either be no rightward shift or a leftward shift. Right. See, change in supply occurs due to change in not price, other factors like taxes, yeah, this thing, uh, goals, all these things. Okay. It leads to shift in supply curve, either rightward direction or leftward direction. When it is rightward direction, when favorable changes are there in the factors, favorable tax policy, favorable subsidies, favorable goal of the firm, then there will be rightward shift. And if it is unfavorable, no, government is not supporting, taxes are levied very highly and all, then or even the goal of the objective is changing, then there would be decrease in the supply. So there would be a leftward shift. Okay, that same thing we have seen in the graph. Next slide. Yeah, see, when the price is kept same, 20 and 20, what is happening? Yeah, quantity, either we are buying 100 or 150. So it is moving no towards right. So the shift of the curve is towards right. Next. So here the shift of the curve is uh, moving towards left. The price is kept same, 20 rupees and 20 rupees. But for the first time we have bought 10, 100, and the next time we have bought quantity of 70. Then it is moving towards left side. So shift in the curve, when the decrease in supply, it is leftward. Yeah, now price elasticity of supply. Yeah, here I'll catch up with both demand and supply together. Okay, here price elasticity of supply refers to degree of responsiveness of supply of a commodity with reference to change in the price of such commodity. Okay, now here, just remove the word supply and take the word demand. It is price elasticity. That is changes, any changes happening due to prices. Either in the demand, then it is price elasticity of demand. If it is with the supply, it is price elasticity of supply. Okay. Now, percentage method for measuring price elasticity of supply, you have to remember the formulas. Some questions may be given. To know the percentage elasticity of supply, you have to uh, calculate the price of changes in the quantity supplied by percentage change in the prices. Their percentage change in the quantity demanded and then change in the price. Okay. So here all these things, the words are explained how you have to calculate percentage change in quantity demand. Yeah, that is new quantity minus initial quantity, then percentage change in price by initial quantity, delta P by delta by P into 100, and change in price is equal to new price minus initial price, then you will get the percentage change in the prices. Same thing we have put in the formula here. CEP changes the quantity by Q into 100 by changes in the price by price into 100. Then we are getting into elasticity of this price, one change delta Q by delta P and by P. Same thing are explained here. Elasticity of supply, that is changes in the quantity by changes in the price into price by quantity. Okay. Now, perfectly elastic supply is when there is an infinite supply of a particular at a particular price and the supply becomes zero with a slight fall in price, then the supply of such a commodity is said to be perfectly elastic. See the schedule here. Price is kept as 30, 30, 30 only. Supply is 100, 200, 300. See, when here E is equal to elasticity is equal to infinite. Yeah, see, the price, quantity P is SS supplied would be same, and the quantity supplied would be become slightly zero, and slightly they are going to fall. Okay, then it is a perfectly elastic. Remember this. The next, sir. Yeah, when elasticity inelastic, we say when it is equal to zero. When the supply does not change with the change in the price, then supply for such quantity is said to be perfectly inelastic. See, 20, 30, 40 prices are changing, but supply is 20, 20, 20 only. Though the prices is increasing, supply is not at all changing, then it is inelastic. That is, elasticity is equal to zero. Elasticity, when it is infinite, it is perfect elastic. And when it is zero, inelastic. And now when it is greater than 1, we call it as highly elastic supply. Say price is increasing 10 and 15, supply also is increasing 100 and 200, then the curve is moving upwards. That is the case here is elasticity is highly, that means greater than 1. Okay, so when it is less than 1, we call it less elastic. Okay. When percentage change in quantity supplied is less than the percentage change in price, then supply for such a commodity is said to be less elastic. See, price is increasing 10 and 15. Supply is also increasing 100 and 120. But it is less than 1. Yeah, less than 1, then it is less elastic supply. Next, sir. Yeah, unitary. Unitary means 1. So when elasticity is equal to 1, then we call it as unitary elastic supply. Price is kept as 10 and 15. Then the quantity is 150, 150. Then see, it is again moving upwards, and it is moving no rightwards and upwards. How it is possible when the elasticity is unitary, that is equivalent to 1. See, same thing what I have explained in this previous 5 slides. This is, when you remember this slide, you will be able to answer any related question with supply. Okay, see here, perfectly elastic. When do we say? When it is equal to infinity. Yeah, infinity supply at a same price. Supply going on supplying, but the price is same. Then it is perfectly elastic. See, when it is equal to 0, it is perfectly inelastic. What would be the description? Same supply at all prices. Okay. Any price, 10, 20, 30, 40, any price, but supply is same. Then it is perfectly inelastic. When it is greater than 1, then the change in the supply is greater than the change in the prices. Then it is highly elastic. You have to divide and plot it in the graph. Okay. Less elastic is when the elasticity of supply is less than 1. Okay. Change in the percentage change. Okay. Remember, percentage change in the supply is less than the percentage change in price, then it is less elastic. If it is equal to 1, percentage change in supply is equal to percentage change in supply price, then it is a unitary elastic. So that means there would be 5 conditions. Likewise, 5 conditions in demand also. Okay. You have to remember perfectly elastic, infinity, perfectly inelastic, equal to 0, but same price at all levels, not percentage change in supply and price. Okay. Then highly elastic, less elastic, and unitary elastic. Same things are plotted on the graph. Time period, yeah. Time period and supply. Market period, very short period, short period. We'll see this. Okay. Some questions may come on this, especially with the curves. Okay. Market period refers to a very short period in which the supply cannot be changed in response to the change in the demand. See, supply is perfectly inelastic in very short period. So remember that. See, very horizontal to the vertical and parallel to the y-axis. That is, supply is perfectly inelastic. In what? In very short periods. Now, in less short periods, it would be moving upwards. See, short period refers to a which output supply can be changed by changing only variable factors. No, variable factors like labor and all, when we are changing, then it is a less short period. Here, that is, it is moving upwards. Okay. Yeah, next, sir. When we take long periods, see the curves very carefully. when we talk about the long period, it is no changing by changing all factors of production. Whole, see, when we want the cost of production increases means we have to buy another land and construct a big firm over there. Cost of production rises and all long period and long things to go. So therefore, supply is highly elastic. Remember that it is highly elastic in long periods. Yeah, next. Uh, yeah, this is another concept called cost and revenue analysis and production analysis. If organization, this organizers would give me 1 or 2 periods more, I think I can give more explanation on cost and because it's a very very elaborative topics, cost and revenue and production analysis.
So, okay, madam. Okay. We will give another chance, madam.
Okay.
You only decide the time and you only decide the date, and we will accommodate you. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much, sir. Because if I start course, it may again go to 9 o'clock also, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you. No issue, no issue.
Yeah.
Please arrange some other day as per your wish. Okay.
Okay, it's so kind of you, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening to all.
Good evening, madam. We will call it a day. You only decide. Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely, sir.
Thank you.
Within
Thank
1
you.
or 2 days, I'll just tell you, sir.
Okay, madam. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Ramesh, sir. Hello.